Okay, so today we are going to be tier ranking the Twilight characters. If you know me, you know I like Twilight. I'm a big fan. Oh, Twilight's so cringy. How could you even like it? Shut up. Let's get the three main characters out of the way. Bella, Edward, and Jacob. I am Team Edward. I have a Edward shirt. I got Edward earrings. I used to be Team Jacob for a very, very long time. I'm not anymore because he just got progressively worse throughout the films. In the movies, he just starts to get kind of weird. It's like, Edward is going to go in S tier. But then again, if you analyze him as a character, does he deserve to be up there? He did abandon Bella and just be like, yeah, I don't want you, and then go and try to kill himself. And then when Bella was like pregnant, he was looking at her all disgusted, and I understand that he was more like disgusted and unhappy with himself, but because he abandoned Bella and all of that type of stuff, I'ma have to say A tier. Next, Bella. Bella, I think, is a solid character. We have to understand she's a teenager, right? So her being awkward and kind of weird and deciding to marry this guy after like 2 years of, not even 2 years, correctly, I think the entire Twilight franchise happens within like 2 years. So Bella moving to Forks to live with Charlie, her meeting Edward, her starting to date Edward. No. Bella moving to Forks, her meeting Edward, her almost getting hit by a car and dying, her figuring out that he's a vampire, dating Edward, Edward leaves, she starts hanging out with Jacob, finds out Jacob's a werewolf, Edward tries to off himself, she goes and tries to save him, she gets thrown out a window, almost dies, she gets bit, gets engaged, has a kid, dies. That's one of the things. So she's been through a lot, and she's like 18 years old. I'm gonna put Bella at S tier. Jacob. Now I have two pictures of Jacob. I have Jacob before he was a werewolf, so long hair, wig wearing Jacob, and then short hair, buff Jacob, right? Long hair, wig wearing Jacob, he was perfect. You know, he was nice. He was just kind of like, hey, like, I kind of have a crush on Bella, but like, you know, gets S tier, okay? He's chill. Short hair buff Jacob, on the other hand. This man, I really wanted to be Team Jacob. I really did. But I couldn't because he started getting way too pushy with Bella. Like, he forced himself on her, which, like, first off, bro, come on. He spends like 3 movies fawning over this woman. He's like, yeah, this is the woman for me. She's gonna pick me. I hope it's me. And then he goes and falls in love with her daughter. A baby. An infant. I can't. Have to put Jacob at... He did fall in love with a child.
Where the hell have you been, loca?
I have to put him at AC. I know he has no control over imprinting on a child, but it did happen. Let's do the Cullen siblings next. So let's start with Alice, who is my favorite out of all the Cullen siblings, just because she's bubbly, she's happy, she got the funky hair, she's kind of weird. She's the only one that seems to really care about Bella. Like, both of them actually are friends. I'll put Alice in S tier. Alice is a solid character. I don't think there was at any point where I was like, yeah, no, I don't like this chick. Then let's talk about her boyfriend, her partner, Jasper. Now, Jasper, I do like Jasper, apart from when we found out that he was in the Confederate Army. You need to leave! Majority of the movie, he's just trying to kill Bella and eat her.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's okay, Jasper. You won't hurt her.
He also looks constipated the entire movie. So I'm gonna put him at C with Jacob. Now I did put the actor that played Jasper on the list. Why? Because he's good looking. I didn't know that Jasper was hot. The entire film, this man looks either constipated or like he's about to shit his pants. There is no in between. I can't. But then I saw a picture of the actor, right? And I was like, oh, looking man. Good looking man. He goes in A tier next to Edward. Anyway, moving on, let's talk about Rosalie. Rosalie is the most annoying Cullen sibling. I love that they showed her backstory so that you get a better grasp on the character. She did not want to be a vampire. She wanted to be a mother, a loving wife. She was a beautiful woman. She still is, even as a vampire. But this is not the life she would have chose for herself. And that's why she dislikes Bella so much, because she's like, hey, you're choosing something that you may not want. And she looking out for Bella. She really is. But all she does is bitch and whine the entire fucking series, bro. I'm just kind of like, why are you making things so difficult? Like, if you have an issue with it, okay, but like, you don't gotta be a bitch, you know? Rosalie, I'm gonna put her in C tier with Jasper and Jacob. I could put her in B, but I'm keeping B tier for people that I'm like, about. Let's go to Emmett. Emmett is a character that I wish I saw more of.
Monkey man.
He's witty, he's nice, he gets along with Bella, he also has great chemistry with his other Cullen sibling weird relationship family thing they got going on. He's a really good character and I wish we saw more of him, but unfortunately they just kind of make him pose and be buff. Like, he's like thirst trapping the entire franchise. Have him in like a really tight fitted shirt or like a tank top and you're just kind of like, but Emmett, I'm gonna put him in S tier. He's a great character. I just wish I saw more of him. Let's talk about Esme. Esme is pretty much playing like the adoptive mother of all of the Cullen siblings. The main reason I kept B tier empty is for Esme, because I feel like I don't know anything about this woman. She's there, she's like the mom, she's like nice. She made sandwiches for the wolves, but like she doesn't really have a personality. Alice is quirky and sees the future. Rosalie's kind of depressing and mean. Emmett is like buff and fun to be around. Jasper is constipated. All of them got their thing, and then Esme's just kind of there as like the mom role. I'm gonna have to put Esme in B. I wish I saw more of who she would be as a character, but I didn't really get a lot from her. Carlisle. A lot of people watch Twilight for like Edward or Jacob, where they're like, oh my god, so hot. Carlisle is the one that's hot. Carlisle, the guy that plays Jasper, and then there's another guy that I put on this list, who I was also like, oh damn, okay. But when we talk about Carlisle as a character, I would say solid character. He plays a doctor, which as a vampire is very difficult. It's that one scene with Bella where he has more chemistry with her than Edward or Jacob ever did, and it is so entertaining because you're watching and you're just kind of like, wait a second, is something gonna happen here, or like, because literally everyone sees it. Everyone sees it. Good character. I'm gonna put him in S tier. Let's talk about James. James was our villain in the first movie. He was crazy about trying to kill Bella. Like, he really liked the way she smelled. And he was like, yeah, I'm a getter. There is that one scene where he's like running and like trying to follow Bella's scent, and then he smells her scent on a tree, but he picks up a Cullen because they're like trying to pretend to be her to mislead him. And he's like, oh shit, no, oh my god. And he like loses his shit and then runs and tries to kill her. I'm gonna put him at B, maybe? Just because I like him, I don't dislike him, but A tier is gonna be for good looking people only, so. Then there's like this guy, who's like James 2.0. So original James had a girlfriend named Victoria who's also a vampire, and once James gets killed and dies, she becomes like super angry and tries to seek revenge on the Cullens, Edward specifically, for killing her partner. So then she finds this guy who's James 2.0 to kind of carry out the entire killing and everything for her. I did like his opening scene where you kind of saw him as a person and then he gets like killed and turned. I did really like that storyline, but I feel like he's not as good as the original James was. I'm at a C. Then we have Laurent. Laurent was a solid kind of villain, but also not a villain. Went and helped the Cullens when James was going batshit crazy. I feel like I'll put him at A tier because he's better than James. It's nice to see some diversity in the casting. So yeah. Now let's talk about
Sam.
D tier. D tier. No question about it, he going in D tier. So alpha male, whiny, complaining about everything, mad all the time. You know,
Sam
has a podcast, you know? And then Leia is also D tier. Like, both of them are equally as whiny and annoying. He likes someone else, she loves him. They are not thinking about you. Like, move on. Seth, I think, is the youngest out of all the werewolves, and he's just such a nice, bubbly character. Like, he is what Jacob was. Seth goes in S tier. Then there's Rami Malek. Now, I don't remember his character's name. I just know Rami Malek. He also has the coolest powers. People don't acknowledge the fact that he is so powerful. He can manipulate the elements. Man is a waterbender. I'm gonna put him in A tier just because solid character, like crazy powerful, doesn't use his powers for bad. And let's talk about Jane. Jane is also in the same category as Rosalie for me. She's just unnecessarily problematic. Like, she's going after the Cullens all the time for no reason, really. I'm gonna put her in D tier. Like, I don't like her. I'm gonna put her in D. Arrow is insane. He's one of the Baltori. He can see people's memories and like their visions and stuff like that by touching their hand and holding them in some way. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if he were to give someone a hug, if he can do the same thing. He tries to kill the Cullens. Vampires have rules. The Cullens are breaking the rules, and he's kind of like, hey bro, you can't do that.
Stop it. Get some help.
He does have a crazy laugh. I'm gonna put Arrow at a B. I don't hate him, don't like him. He got a weird laugh. He got this weird rat look going on. But let's talk about Bella's mom and dad. Charlie is a great dad, and he's also the only sane character in this entire franchise. Poor Charlie, like, he is just a dad that is trying to care for his daughter. His daughter is a teenager, and he's trying to navigate how to deal with her. He's a police officer, so he wants to make sure that his daughter is safe, but then his daughter decides to go and hang out with a literal vampire, and he's just kind of like, something off about this kid. I don't know, I don't like him. I love his character because he's kind of looking around when everything's happening, and he's just kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? One scene where Jacob exposes himself and starts stripping, being like, hey, I'm a werewolf, let me show you. And he's just kind of like, whoa, like, kid, put your clothes back on.
Jacob, put your clothes on.
Charlie is S tier. Charlie's a great character. If you say otherwise, you are wrong. Now let's talk about Bella's mom, right? Because she's the complete opposite. The whole reason that Bella moves to Forks to live with Charlie is because Esme decides that she wants to hang out with her boyfriend or husband while he lives on the road for his baseball career. She gives up her daughter for a man. Bella's having night terrors in the second movie after Edward leaves, and we don't hear anything about her at all. And then she shows up at Bella's wedding and sings this god-awful song, and everyone is just like, what are you doing? Please make this stop. But she just keeps going. And because of that, because you're an absent mother and you sang at your daughter's wedding, I'm gonna have to put you in D tier. I know Twilight's a cringy movie, but there was nothing more cringy. Nothing that made me curl up and be like, ugh, more than that.
Dolly, be happy.
She doesn't even go here.
Now, lastly, we have Garrett. I had to look up this character's name. He just showed up on screen, and I was like, huh, okay. He gives weird, like, Hosier vibes, you know? Now, he is not the type I go for at all, but there's that one scene where, like, he's, like, getting electrocuted, and I was just like, oh, alright, okay. Alright. But yeah, Garrett goes in A tier just because he's a good-looking man that is part of this franchise, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, that was me tier ranking all of the Twilight characters. No one asked me to do this. I just enjoy tier ranking people from movies and TV shows. So that is what I did today. I should maybe like get a job. Okay, bye!